Welcome FSW fans to the first episode of our brand new show, From the Vault. I'm your host, David Lawson, lifelong wrestling fan and proud owner of Lawson Lifestyle, powered by the Broadkin Group and Realty One. For all your Las Vegas real estate needs, level up with Lawson Lifestyle. Now tonight and every Wednesday night at 8 p.m., From the Vault will feature exclusive, never-before-seen matches, often commentated by the FSW superstars themselves. Also, we'll get up close and personal with groundbreaking interviews. And tonight we got a special episode. We're featuring none other than the FSW World Heavyweight Champion, Kevin Kross. This man is setting the wrestling world on fire. In his first year, he's appeared on Monday Night Raw and Global Force Wrestling. And tonight, hearing his own words, why he chose pro wrestling over MMA. So let's get this show started and go to ringside with Joe DeFalco. Take it away, Joe.
Welcome to From the Vault. Joe DeFalco alongside the FSW Heavyweight Champion, Kevin Kross. This is about a year ago at one of our showcase events, featured some of our younger students, but you were fortunate enough to be here and have a match with a guy who just returned to FSW, very charismatic Sway Thompson.
Yep, and speaking of that, you can see he's working the audience right now. You know, here's the story here. The whole reason this match happened is because Sway Thompson went on social media, tried to embarrass me, tried to humiliate me, and really tried to get a fan petition for this match. And guess what? He got it.
Yeah, it's amazing nowadays how matches come about. We used to laugh on Monday Night Raw how Chris Jericho spilled a cup of coffee on Kane and it led to a feud. And now people go on Facebook, they go on Twitter, they see you're the hot commodity, and he wants to make a name for himself. Obviously, at this point, he was very new to FSW. He'd been in the circles. We were aware of him, but he had just recently made his FSW debut, and he wanted to, take out the
talk of the town.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, he really legitimately pissed me off, as you can see. And the whole point of this match was to make sure that I hurt him so badly that he wasn't going to ask for a rematch because, as I said, he was trying to make a name off of me. And a lot of people thought that I went too far in this match. And I just want to explain myself because I'm a gentleman, Joe, and I don't want to be some sort of misunderstanding here. I knew that Sway Thompson had beaten guys that everyone said he should have never beaten. It's because people didn't take him seriously. But in this particular situation, he wasn't taking me seriously. And you're going to get to see what happens.
Well, yeah, and you see a guy, as I like to say in the boxing world or the MMA world where you're familiar with, he was stepping up in weight.
He was.
He was a guy known in the no limits division, having some good matches with guys like Jacob Austin Young and Bryce Harrison. But he wanted to tangle with the big heavyweight.
Absolutely.
The guy that, this was before you were the heavyweight champion, but you were climbing the ranks very quickly, and he felt that would be a major notch on his belt.
Absolutely. They always said he hit very hard for his weight class, and I'll tell you, he did. But we'll see if it wasn't enough.
And the thing about Sway Thompson, he's a guy that the crowd gets behind. They really seem to like him. And at this point in time, you were not well liked by the majority of FSW fans, and you could hear that the crowd was pretty much behind Sway during this match. And a beautiful move right there, using his speed, using his agility, trying to take down the big giant.
You see, this is the type of guy that you can't sleep on. I will give that to him. Sway Thompson's one of the best professional wrestlers out here on the West. But that's what you have to do to people like that. You have to throw them halfway across the ring, and they land on their spinal cord.
And that definitely slowed him up, put him in his place as a guy your size, close to, what are you, about 240, 250?
I float between 250, 265. Depends on who I'm wrestling. I'm actually very scientific about it. If I'm wrestling a big guy, I might drop weight. If I'm wrestling a little guy, I might put the weight on.
And a kick to the back of the head. And we just saw you this past week, once again defending the FSW heavyweight title against a man who was an FSW original, started here in 2009. We have not seen the guy in over 5 years, Gabriel Gallo, and he put on a tremendous match with you. And I got to give you all the credit in the world. He definitely came to fight, wanted to make his name known once again here in FSW, and he quickly established himself as a legitimate threat.
Hey, he absolutely did. Gabriel Gallo, 300-pound man, a journeyman in this business. That's not somebody you can sleep on either. Definitely didn't give me the opportunity. He actually almost put me to sleep.
And then Sway Thompson dropping the top rope as you go on to the outside. And so far, oh, and look at that beautiful super kick to the side of the jaw.
My jaw still clicks from that, by the way.
And Sway Thompson, who wasn't really mounting much offense, finally got something going on the outside on the ring apron.
And this is a self-defense move you can learn in karate. So if somebody kicks you, you can block it, and then you pick them upside down and you do this. I'm telling you, this is karate.
And right now, Sway Thompson definitely not in a place he'd like to be. And look at this.
Goodbye.
A pile driver, and as many people know, that is the hardest part of the ring on the outside. No give there.
No, not at all. And I wanted to see, he wanted this fight. He wanted this match. Let's see how bad he wants it. If he really wants it, he'll get up and he'll get back in this ring. I gave him the option. I said, you want to play up and you want to masquerade around that you have all his heart? Show everyone. Show everyone and prove it right now if you have the heart, because I gave him a way out right now. We're going to see what he does.
We are very excited from the vault each and every week. Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. we are going to debut the show. Hopefully it'll go worldwide, and people, as we did our first interview with you, a lot of input and a lot of information about how you got started in the business. And we're going to do that with each and every week with some of our top stars. Next week we're going to have Jacob Austin Young, the returning Whirlwind Gentleman. We have members of the following, one of the biggest factions in FSW history. So there's a lot of good things, a lot of excitement here in FSW 2016, especially with you, Kevin Kross.
Ow.
But look at that. As Sway Thompson, a desperation move. And once again, listen to the crowd getting behind him. No doubt about it, they're looking for the David and Goliath story right there, and looking for the huge upset. And you had to use the bottom rope.
Yeah. You land head first in that mat. It doesn't matter how much you weigh, how big you are. You could be going to sleep.
And here goes Sway Thompson to the top. And look at that, a move that pins just about everybody, but not you, Kevin Kross.
Nope, and guess what? It's time to pay the toll now.
A 2.5 count, Sway Thompson. The fans were going crazy. They thought the upset was there. Kevin Kross would get the first loss of his career. And if you look at Sway, it looks like he's not too sure what's going on as you catch him. Oh, and look at this, and he goes, and then you got him right where you want him. Got him into the suplex, and you got him up again.
Keep it. This is called catch wrestling.
I was going to say a little shades of the Three Amigos.
Yeah.
Except third one is not a charm for Sway Thompson. Right on the top of his skull. The Doomsday Saito. Say goodnight. 1, 2, 3, and there you have it, Kevin Kross.
You can see how upset everybody is. I love it.
Yes, very quiet. Much different atmosphere now when Kevin Kross dumps somebody on his head.
Yeah.
And there it is, Kevin Kross victorious over Sway Thompson. If anybody has any questions, ask us on the Facebook, futurestarsofwrestling.com, or send us an email at lvfuturestars@yahoo.com. Anything you want to know about your favorite superstar. Kevin Kross, thanks for joining us. Our debut episode, the FSW Heavyweight Champion from the Vault.
Welcome back to From the Vault. Again, I'm your host, David Lawson, and for all your real estate needs, Lawson Lifestyle, 702-505-0023. But enough about me. Let's hear from the champ himself, Mr. Kevin Kross.
The very first memory I could even recall having is when the Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan. I can't honestly remember anything before that. It's been ingrained and burned into my mind. I always wanted to be a professional wrestler.
I've been involved with mixed martial arts my entire life, whether it was catch wrestling or boxing or kickboxing. It was something in my family that I grew up with. Everyone was involved with it in some way, shape, or form. It was kind of part of my family culture.
As you grow up, everyone around you tells you what you're good at and what they think you should do. And over time, I had, I guess, an issue of really committing to what I wanted to do versus what others thought I should be doing, whether it was competing in mixed martial arts or boxing or getting a white-collar job.
Didn't matter if I was good at mixed martial arts or good at white-collar jobs. This was something in me that wasn't going to go away. I would find myself going through my practices, and then, I'd come home, take the mouth guard out, shower up, eat, and I'd be putting on wrestling from Japan. Or I'd be watching, I would be revisiting matches and stuff like that I was watching as a kid.
I get a lot of questions, especially from my coaches, as to why I never really pursued mixed martial arts on a professional level. And to be entirely honest with you, I just never found the fulfillment that I found in professional wrestling as I did with mixed martial arts.
As I got older, I really was finding myself gravitating more towards professional wrestling. I always loved professional wrestling as a kid, all the way from the days of Warrior beating Hogan, and it just got to a point where I knew that this was something that I had to do.
I just couldn't help myself. I gravitated towards this, and it wound up being everything that I thought it was going to be since I was a kid, and it's been the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. And I really didn't even know how to identify with fulfillment until I started wrestling. I thought maybe fulfillment was just a word that we were using to describe things that we really enjoyed. But when you find something that's fulfilling, words are going to elude you on how important that thing is to you. And that's what professional wrestling is to me.
What have I seen personally about Kevin Kross that I think makes him have what it takes? Well, a lot of guys come in this business and they run their mouths and they can't back up what they say. Kevin Kross can talk the talk and walk the walk. Kevin Kross can back up everything he says. How far can Kevin Kross go in the wrestling business? Well, since you see professional wrestling today, 90% of the guys look like they couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. A lot of professional wrestlers today just come across as sissies. Kevin Kross ain't no sissy. Kevin Kross is not the type of guy you want to meet in an alley and you owe him money and you don't have it on you. Kevin Kross can go as far as Kevin Kross wants to go. If I was Brock Lesnar, I wouldn't want to see Kevin Kross coming down my road.
I've been very fortunate to accomplish a lot in the short amount of time I've been in the business. I have high goals. I would like to become a household name in this business, and I'm very serious when I say that. And I understand what type of work and what type of sacrifice has to go into being that kind of a person, and I'm ready and willing to do it.
It was a bittersweet moment becoming the FSW Heavyweight Champion. It was something that I had been aiming towards since I started training, since I started competing in the organization. I was happy, obviously, to win the title, but I also knew the amount of work, the extra work that was going to go into being champion, and all the politics that were going to come with it.
I've worked very hard to be able to get into the ring with guys like Brian Cage, Joey Ryan, Kenny King, Willie Mack, Chris Masters, Bobby Roode, Brian Myers. The short amount of time that I've been doing this has been a 24/7 thing for me. It's not a joke. Everything that I do is for pro wrestling. I eat, sleep, and breathe pro wrestling. Guys I'd like to work, immediately name comes to mind, Timothy Thatcher. I think that'd be a great match to do. Zack Sabre Jr., another guy I'd really like to be in the ring with. Rey Mysterio. Eli Drake, I think, needs his head punched inside out, so we're going to have to do that at some point as well. Matt Hardy definitely is a guy that I'd like to be in the ring with. I'm ready and willing to get in the ring with anyone. Anybody. The Rock, Stone Cold, Brock Lesnar. That's the level that I'm thinking at. Short-term goals, I'd like to, make it on board with a major company and represent where I came from and represent future stars of wrestling.
That's right.
Hey! Tick-tock, Leon! Tick-tock.
Guys, get back. Go there. Get back. Kevin, we're doing a commercial shoot here, but you can come back when we're done.
I can see that, boy. You know what? You're really starting to irritate me, so shut the hell up.
Understand.
You, sir, with the camera, turn that off and go home. Thank you very much.
Keep it
How you
rolling.
doing, Leon?
Keep it rolling.
Kevin Kross, you have the nerve to come and interrupt me in my place of business when I'm trying to coach and teach the FSW Juniors Division.
Yeah.
You're disrespecting them, you're disrespecting their parents that paid good money to come and get coached and trained by Leon Hader. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? Leon, I will disrespect anybody I damn well please in this business, whether it's kids or parents. I'm going to disrespect you in the very near future because I had to come all the way down here. I didn't have to, but I am. You better be ready anytime, any place, anywhere. I'm going to take everything away from you, Leon. Everything.
This is not the time or the place to do this, and you know that. If you want to settle this thing between me and you, we can do this tonight, but not right here when I'm trying to train these kids. Get up out of here, man.
You promise tonight? Let's shake on it. Come on now.
Should I shake his hand?
Shut up, Paulie. Shake it. Yeah,
You know what? You talk about being a gentleman, I can be one too. I'm gonna be a good example for you guys. Even though he's a piece of trash, I'll shake his hand.
You know what, Leon? I see one of the kids back there has a baseball shirt on. You like baseball? I love baseball. I love swinging bats. I like to hit home runs. I'm gonna hit a home run on your teacher's head tonight. You better be there.
Stay
Come
back,
on now. Come on, what?
Get out of here.
Can't wait to see you again, Leon.
Get him out of here.
Follow me.
I thought you were in Japan.
I was.
Everybody wanted a new beginning, Paulie. I am the new beginning.
Uh-oh.
I need you to drop me on my neck.
Look who's sliding in, Disco Inferno from behind. It's Kevin Kross. And he nails Master with the Doomsday Saito. Are you kidding me, Disco Inferno? You remember back in 2010, part of the Elite Extremists with Derek Nykerk, a guy that had a falling out.
Wow.
And he has become a real,
I'd almost forgotten about this guy.
he had long hair. They used to call him GQ,
Yes, they did.
but now he is,
He looks like a biker guy. He looks like the type of guy that you would want coming to collect your money when you gotta pay the bookie.
No,
But you don't have it all, right?
yeah, I think that's what his new job is.
Wow. He's right in Kevin Cross's face. He's not intimidated at all.
You know-
I'll tell you what, Paulie Cover here, he really talks of, there's a lot of strong talking on the show for a guy with an ugly tie like that. Did you see that tie, Joe?
Yes, I did. I'm just shocked at Gallo. And again, here was a guy that had all the talent in the world, no disputing that whatsoever. Just a guy that, kind of did things his own way, and it didn't really fit what we were doing here in FSW.
Well, and I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you here. He kind of makes Kevin Kross look a little bit small in that ring, doesn't he?
One thing I do got to give credit to Paulie Cover for, some great talent has reemerged here in FSW, along with the great roster that we have. It's just getting bigger and bigger, Disco Inferno, and it makes the shows even better.
Well, I hope he's not overbooking these shows. I mean, did you give this guy an open checkbook when he decided when he's making the matches here?
Well, not really.
Right?
I was unaware of the surprise that Paulie Cover.
Yeah, so he's like he's calling his own shots here. The commissioner is works for the owners usually, correct?
Usually.
Well, he's kind of like going into business for himself here.
Well, we had a lot of unsuccessful commissioners in the past,
Well,
and I felt Paulie Cover, and despite some of his actions toward Kevin Kross, I think he's done a phenomenal job.
Well, he's kind of making his
legacy.
No. I want to go a different way here. His issues with Kevin Kross are kind of clouding his judgment on what his role should be here in FSW. I think he's kind of making it a lot more personal than a commissioner.
Well, absolutely. There seems to be a vendetta going on.
Right. It's like he's like coming after Kevin Kross.
And we've had some conversations, and he's promised to do things, but I guess sometimes, the emotions, kind of like Cam Newton, the emotions got in the way. Is he a sore loser, or is he just disappointed? And Gallo, as I said, he looks like a beast. And if he does business the right way, similar a couple years ago, Jason Partain, who's been in and out of FSW. He's kind of doing things the right way, and he's a major asset to the company.
Yeah, he's the FSW strongman.
Yes.
What I mean? Like Jason Partain, has been a guy like, he can step in the main event picture just based on the fact that he's stronger than everybody else in FSW.
And right now, this is going to be an interesting contest for Kevin Kross. He hasn't been able to study a guy like Gallo, not knowing who his opponent is. And again, as you said, a guy who's as big as him. You know, Kevin Kross doesn't. Bigger, wider, you know. It's going to be an interesting contest.
Well, Kevin Kross is claiming that he's the most vicious shooter in wrestling today. So let's see if he uses those skills when taking on a big guy like this.
And as you can see, he's wrestling a little bit of a different style, and he's keeping it grounded because he feels that maybe keeping Gallo on the mat is where it's going to be to his advantage.
Well, wear him down because the guys obviously hadn't been in the ring as much over the years. He wants to take this guy to the limit. Kind of a braggadocious tights that Kross has on there. You know, the world champ Kevin Kross.
Yeah, so look at this, still holding on.
Still holding on. Boy, he's kind of like squeezing his brains out right now. How do you think that feels?
Probably not too good. You know, a lot of times you're watching, you say, man, that looks like a lackluster kind of headlock. Doesn't really look like he's trying to inflict pain.
Right.
Well, the object of the headlock is to inflict pain.
Oh, he's good. Look at that. He's gouging his mouth.
You know, Kevin Kross is not using this as a spot to lay on him and rest. He's trying to wear him down, which is a big difference than you see a lot of times with that move.
Well, I see it differently. I just think, look, if he's trying to squeeze his brains out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's not just trying to rest on him, as the match is pretty early on.
Well, you got to talk in layman's terms when you're dealing with the FSW audience. You kind of make it, you know, sometimes you get too sophisticated with your commentary, Joe.
Little big chop right there.
Ooh, wow. I heard that. They heard that in Reno.
You know, Gallo is definitely no joke, and he came here. You know, these are two huge heavyweights, Disco. You know, a lot of times you see with this new style of professional wrestling, it's two guys flopping around. These are just two beasts.
Acrobatics is what I call it.
This is old school.
This is a fight between two big guys. You know, people could say that, you know, professional wrestling, you know, there's certain types of fans these days. And you could argue that your fan base at wrestling shows these days consists of two different groups of people. Families that love professional wrestling, and the rest of your crowd are basically trolls who come here to basically try to take over the show with their chants and their.
Look at these clubbing.
You know, like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I totally understand.
Yeah, exactly. So what you have to do as a professional wrestler, if you can provide a skill set that can appease both of those fan bases, like Kevin Kross has, what you have there is a guy that can really go far in the business these days. Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah. He is an anomaly in the business right now. That you don't see it these days.
Well, he's getting his ass whooped right now, to be honest with you.
And right now,
we're talking about Kevin Kross, and we should be talking about this Gallo kid because he's beating Kevin Kross up right now.
He definitely is. You know, man who started here in FSW, the very first show at the Rancho Swap Meet, part of the title tournament, always had high expectations. You know, he's done very well in the business.
What's he doing here?
He's a guy who basically reinvented himself, as we said. You know, a guy who was known as GQ, and now he's the guy known as the King of No Rules, who goes in there and just wants to beat your face in.
Wow, nice kick.
Right to the midsection, which might be the weakness of Gallo.
Ooh!
Look at that big boot to the side of the head. And as we said, these are two big men battling it out when Kevin Kross is the small guy at 260 pounds.
How much does he weigh?
260.
Well, this Gallo kid's got to be about 280 at least.
I'm thinking he's pushing close to 3.
Yeah, he is.
And it's kind of like Jason Partain, you know, that looks like he has a gut, but the gut is hard as a rock.
Like the Iron Sheiks used to
Yes.
be. Yes.
And right now, Kevin Kross, he knows he's got to lay it in with some huge forearms. At the Vail Pavilion, we return on the 28th of February, Disco. Pride, Honor, Respect, featuring stars from Ring of Honor invading the FSW.
Really?
That is
invading.
Right. They are invading.
Well, I'm going to set up a
look at that.
Wow. Posted him. If they try to invade, we better be prepared to fight back.
Better be prepared. Rocky Romero.
I'll knock a guy out. I'll knock his teeth out his throat. He tries to invade me, Joe.
That's right.
How about you? You ready to fight for FSW?
If my sciatica gets
please.
better.
You one of those guys always complain about how your back
hurts. What can I tell you?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm not as tough as you.
Yeah, right. Jeez. Just like hatting my back, my 05. You know, you're one of those guys, right?
It's all right. I'm meeting with Jake the Snake. We're going to have a meet-up with a DDP.
The dude at the DDP.
Yes,
Take care of that.
It
Absolutely.
might be a new disciple.
Absolutely.
But right now, the main event, the FSW title on the line, a man who has not been in FSW for almost 5 years, Gabriel Gallo, taking it to the champ. He doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. And he wants to walk into FSW, shock the world, and walk out as the FSW heavyweight champion.
Well, he's doing pretty good with that so far. I mean, he's on his way, it looks like.
You know, and to be honest with you, you know, we talk about Paulie Cover's personal vendetta, but look at the guys that he has brought in.
Oh, what is this?
Kross. It looks like he's looking to power bomb him.
Is this under instruction from Paulie Corver?
It could be. And look at this, the backdrop. And that can't feel too good. Thank God he's grounded at 290.
Absolutely.
And Kevin Kross, this could be the turning point in the match, as Gallo has been in control for the majority of it. The crowd trying to get behind Kevin. A man who has quickly become the most favorite wrestler here in FSW.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
A guy who threatened to beat up the fans.
Yeah, beat up the fans, beat up everybody. Oh, wow, what is that? He's got a chair. He's just trying to hit Paulie Corver with the chair.
And I'm not sure what he's doing because,
whoa,
under the rules and regulations of his title reign, if he gets disqualified, Disco, he loses the title.
I know what you want. You want me to throw this all away. You want me to throw it all away in front of my jewelry. But what you don't understand is Kevin Kross is the people's executioner, and they need an execution, so guess what? You're going to get what you want.
Why would Kevin Kross do what Paulie Cover wants?
You use that, you are disqualified, Kevin. I'm going to kill him. Kevin, no! I'm going to kill him. No!
Right now, it looks like he's just taunting Paulie Cover. No offense, but shouldn't Paulie Cover want him to hit him with the chair, Disco?
You son of a bitch.
Whoa!
And Kevin Kross not only wants to win the match, he wants to humiliate Paulie Cover even further. Is that legal? They having a chair that he's sitting on to use?
He's not really using it as a weapon. He's just sitting in it. That's what chairs are used for. So that's what a chair is supposed to be used for, sitting.
But now he's getting a better position to choke out Gallo.
What is he doing? He's choking him out?
And this could be it.
Whoa.
And Gallo was able to hold on.
It's kind of weird right there. Oh, now he's poking his eyes. Oh, now he's biting him.
I guess he's got till 5 to stop biting. Oh, and look at this. A Death Valley driver. Not sure Gallo has enough to make the cover, Disco. As both men are down, the heavyweight champion.
He's got a chance to beat him right now. Just roll over and put your arm across him. This guy's out of gas.
Absolutely. I was just going to say he took everything he could to make one last gasp effort, and he cannot cover the champion, who is now up first.
Ooh.
And look at this, the right hand. And they are firing back and forth. Oh, these guys, these are two monsters. And Kevin Kross looking like he is getting the best of Gabriel Gallo. But look at that reversal into the turnbuckle. And look at that, the elbow to the jaw. And Kevin Kross, he is just firing away with the forearms. And look at these two guys. They are just, oh, look at that, the knee to the jaw.
And another big knee to the stomach, wow.
And Kevin Kross, he says now is the time. And he is laying in the kicks to the midsection. Oh, and look at that. Gallo ducks under. The swing and a miss, but he's got him up. And there is the Doomsday Saito. 1, 2, 3, and there you have it.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the first episode of From the Vault. Now, next week, we're going to feature a rising young star, Jacob Austin Young. This kid is amazing. He reminds me a lot of a young HBK, so I'm looking forward to that definitely. So, until then, next Wednesday, 8 p.m., I'm David Lawson, and I'll see you from the Vault.